The Bear Essentials podcast gives older bears a place to gather for real talk regarding topics and issues that they can relate to. Here at The Bear Essentials, we aren't just having conversations. We are looking to provide actionable intelligence through real-life experience and expertise of our guests. Our mission is to build a strong community that elevates and motivates people to go beyond their limiting beliefs by helping them realize that getting older is not an excuse to hibernate on their goals, but a reason to work harder.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining Morning Coffee with the Bear. Shameless plug alert. If you would like your own bear mug, head on over to www.bearessentials.info and shop essential bear gear. Thank you. Over the past few weeks, a lot more people have been tuning into the Bear Essentials podcast. I can't thank all of you enough for that. But since there are new listeners and viewers, obviously a few have asked, why that name? Who is the bear? In my house, there's a lot of nicknames. And my kids throughout their lives have referred to me when they were younger as Papa Bear. Now that they're older, they literally just refer to me as Bear Man. When I decided to start this podcast back in January, I was trying to think of a name, and Bear stuck with me. So I decided to go with it for better or worse. And there you have it. The Bear Essentials was born. Before we get into this episode, here is a word from our sponsor. Sorry, it's just me. We are currently in the process of finding our first sponsors. So if you or anyone you know has a product or run a company or work for a company that may be interested in doing a sponsorship deal with a podcast that is growing and is on the verge of getting on more platforms, now's the time. Reach out to me directly. You can direct message me or use the email in the link, and we can discuss you becoming an official sponsor of the Bear Essentials. As you can see behind me, this wall is kind of empty. Would love to put you up there as one of the first sponsors of the Bear Essentials. Thanks. Welcome back. As the show continues to grow, I'm looking to get on a more regular schedule. Over the next few weeks, you're going to start to see new episodes on Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday will be this segment, Morning Coffee with the Bear. This will be less formal, a little shorter, and for the most part, I will be solo during this segment. Wednesdays, that is where you will see me interviewing guests. So if you haven't subscribed, please head over to my YouTube, my Spotify channels. You can find them, just type in the Bear Essentials, and you'll get alerted when the new episodes are available. One of the things I am trying to do with the podcast is to build a strong community where somewhat older individuals like myself can continue to learn and where we can evolve together. I get it, especially as we age, our time is such a valuable commodity. So I really want you to feel like that time you choose to spend watching and listening to the Bear Essentials is time well spent. And I want you to be looking forward to the next episode. My hope is that you'll be motivated. It will inspire you. Maybe together we'll learn something and you'll be inclined to share it with your friends and family. That would be greatly appreciated. A big part to accomplishing all of this is all of you. Audience participation through your questions and your feedback is so critical for me. It will allow me to seek out experts to discuss topics that are important to you. So thank you for the messages, the comments, the emails. It really does help make not just the podcast stronger, but this community something that people want to be a part of. Keep the questions and guest suggestions coming. You can put those in the comments. You can email me. My email address and ways to connect will be available in the episode descriptions. Before we get to that, I have a surprise for you. Morning Coffee with the Bear What would this episode be if we didn't talk a little bit about coffee? I'm not a coffee expert. Hell, I'm not really an expert in much of anything. I'm just an average guy who's trying to help people. And I want this to be fun. So I know a guy, in my opinion, the coffee expert. And by the way, if you're on TikTok, check out Chase U. His TikTok channel is hilarious. Take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you actually like black coffee? Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You seem unsure. Do you really? No, it's so bitter. It's so bad. Why don't you try this? Give it a shot. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome back. No, sorry, shameless plug again. I had a great question sent to me all the way from the UK. Kyle asked, what do you think are the key factors to living a long life? I love this question, but I think it is important to understand that just living a long life, having a lot of years, may not be that great for us if our health isn't allowing us to enjoy those years. It starts to become a question of quality versus quantity. And this is where that discussion of health span versus lifespan really comes into play. And truth of the matter is this: modern medicine can extend our lifespan. It can help keep us alive. But are we really living? Is the quality of that life thriving, or are we just surviving? What is health span? Health span, for those of you that don't know, is defined as the period of life where we are free of chronic clinical disease and disability. For a guy like me, the way I like to describe it, it's basically that time of your life where you feel good and you can get out and do all the shit that you like to do. That's your health span. We really want to do everything we can to keep our health span in line with our lifespan. Getting back to the question, what are the key factors to not just a long life, but a long, healthy life? I know genetics play a part. I will say this, though, unfortunately, too many people like to use genetics as an excuse. Genetics play a role, but not as much as you may think. Then we have diet and weight management, especially in regards to visceral fat, that type of fat that settles around your organs and your belly. Obviously, there is the dreaded exercise. Everyone loves that one, especially the cardio to shed those pounds. But for this question, I want to touch on something that I feel may be overlooked, and that is our muscle strength. Believe it or not, muscular strength is one of the most important factors in not only dictating how long we live, but maybe even more importantly, it plays a major role in how well you live. I'm not saying that those other things aren't important. They are. They're all important factors and they all need to be considered. But I really feel like a lot of people don't pay enough attention to their muscular strength, or even worse, they overlook it altogether. Now, let me provide you some stats to try and hammer that point home. There was a study recently published in the British Medical Journal. It consisted of close to 9,000 men. They followed these men for 19 years, and they found that the muscular strength was associated with death from all causes, including cancer. This was even after considering other factors like cardiorespiratory fitness. This is not just minor statistical significance. It is absolutely game-changing. Consider this. The men in the lower third of muscle strength in that study, and it was quantified by their bench press and their leg press performance. They had, are you ready for this? A 50% higher rate of death compared to the men in the middle and upper thirds of muscular strength. Also, those men in the lower muscular strength category, there was an 83% increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease and a 45% increased risk of death from cancer compared to the stronger men. I don't know about you, but to me, that is absolutely astounding. And I think those numbers should really scare the hell out of you and motivate all of us to start focusing more on strength training. Look, Medical advances have definitely resulted in an increased average lifespan, but it really is up to us as individuals to take responsibility for our health span. And strength training is critical. It will not only improve you physically, but it's going to help train your mind. Studies have shown that it helps generate new neurons in the brain and not only promotes youthfulness, but it increases neuroplasticity in the brain, which will allow all of us to learn new things. That is so important as it will alleviate and allow you to bounce back from stress, but also help to guard against depression and other age-related cognitive disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, the facts are out there, people. In order to live a long life where your health allows you to enjoy those additional years, you definitely need to exercise. That will pay huge dividends. Remember, I know we don't like it and it seems like a chore, but each of those workouts is a deposit in your health account. So you need to keep moving. And if you aren't currently, you need to be sure you're adding strength training to your routine. Own your health span. Thanks for the question, Kyle. I hope that helps. As far as this question, please leave comments, email me if you have additional questions. Keep in mind, I am not a professional when it comes to fitness or health, but I am a guy who has had experience with not having the greatest fitness and health. And I've worked my way through it. So I've made a lot of progress. And, my goal with this podcast is to help motivate people and let them see that a guy like me, who's similar to them with the same problems, the same responsibilities, is able to turn it around. Trust me, take some work, but it's worth it. And you all can do that too. So keep the questions coming. I'll look to answer another question next week. Hope you enjoyed this segment of Morning Coffee with the Bear. Don't go away yet. Stay tuned for some final thoughts. Sorry, shameless plug. Anyway, welcome back to Final Thoughts. Notice the shirt I'm wearing today. Know your enemy. This is something really important that we all need to consider, because when it comes to our enemy, most cases, it's us. We are our own worst enemy. As human beings, we have this habit of being really, really good at self-sabotage. We are our own worst enemy. That being said, what are ways to guard against that? It's so important. The content we absorb. In order not to become our own worst enemies, we need to seriously consider the types of things that we absorb when it comes to our social media habits, the TV we watch, shows we watch, things we listen to, books we read, books we don't read. It's if we make a consistent effort to absorb good content, it strengthens our mindset and it will help us keep the enemy at bay. If we're constantly absorbing negative content, things that aren't the greatest, surrounding ourselves with negativity, negative people, it becomes so much easier to become our own enemy. Trust me. Look for positive things. Look for positive influences. Look for the types of material online that you view, that you listen to, that you read, that will help you grow. It's definitely important. That being said, just some recommendations here. I just finished reading this book. I did a little bit of a book review on this. This book here, Endure by Cameron Haynes. Sorry, see that there? Great book. Cam is definitely a very motivational and inspiring human being. Reading that book, you can't help but want to be better. Had a book just arrive yesterday that I'm about to start today. Once I'm done, I will do a review on this book. Looking forward to this. It is Scars and Stripes by Tim Kennedy. Looking to start that today. So in probably about 2 weeks, I'll look to give a review on that. Some recommendations. Feel free in the comments, message me, Let me know some of the things that you may be reading or titles that have helped you. Would love to start sharing those out with the rest of the audience. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. Keep an eye out for Wednesday, upcoming Wednesdays. I don't think it's going to be this Wednesday, probably the following Wednesday. Looking to have an interview. I will be posting more about that and the guest. Like I said, really appreciate it all. Thank you all so much. Bye.
This has been the Bear Essentials. Thanks for listening. And remember, never hibernate on your goals.